Good day, my loves. Good day. Spiritually Savage here. Welcome to my channel. If you have yet to do so, please subscribe below. Um, Today's message. So I'm actually cleaning up. I haven't even taken a bath or even brushed my funky teeth yet. But as I was sweeping my floor, a thought came to me. I've been dreaming a lot lately. Thank you, God. My gifts are coming back, and I'm so appreciative of it. Last night was a really good dream. It was strange, but it was a good one. So far, I've had nothing but good dreams. I've had nothing but good dreams. Um, but I just got finished reading this book, and hold on, let me get it. Let me get it because after I finished reading this book last night, hold on, let me see. Let me go where the sunlight is pleasing. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. So, as I was sweeping up today, a thought came to me and it was like, what is my message? And it was because I just got finished reading this book. If you've never read it, I suggest you do so. But there's a prelude to this book. There is another book before this one. This is the fifth agreement, but there's four agreements. And let me see if I can remember the four agreements. Let's see how good my memory is. Okay. And they're not in no particular order. It's be impeccable with your word. And if you don't know what the word impeccable means, it means to be honest, be truthful, be authentic with your word. Choose your words carefully because words are actually spells. You're casting spells when you speak words. That's why I'm learning not to gossip, even about myself, because when we all think about gossiping, we all think about gossiping about others. And I have refrained from doing that part, but I still gossip about myself. And that means like telling my business to those who really don't have my best interest at heart. They'll call me to see what's up, only to get some information about me, but then, renege on whatever they were actually calling, saying that they were going to do. Right. So I've learned that over the past week, you know, not to, even if it's good news, that's still gossiping. It's not always bad. It's still gossiping because you're giving your information to people that really don't care about you. And they're going to try and use it to their own best abilities, like trying to use it saying, oh, I'll help you. And then they ghost you. That's energy harvesting. Remember that, understand that, understand and overstand that. I got that lesson this week. And then the second one is don't take anything personal. And after reading this book, The Fifth Agreement, I understand, overstand, and understand what that actually means is don't take anything personal because everybody is living in their own world. Everybody's mind is their own virtual world. Okay. What you are, and I'm paraphrasing from this book, you are the star player in your movie. Okay. You are. And everybody else are secondary characters. But you must understand that the secondary characters have their own form of reality going on in their head. And in their head, you may be the villain. Even if you show nothing but love and kindness and try to help and help grow, you are considered the villain in their head. So you need to mind your own business, basically. Tend to your own movie, tend to your own virtual reality and make it better. Okay. And then the third one is what is it? Don't take anything personal. Be impeccable with your word. Uh, be skeptical, but learn to listen. No, that wasn't it. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. So let me look it up. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Because I know it's right here. They're like right here. Okay. And if I wasn't put on the spot, I would remember. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if I can remember. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal. Um, and probably the last two is probably the ones that's more important, right? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. This is the fifth agreement, but the fifth agreement, um, um, and I just gave you the fifth agreement when I said be skeptical but learn to listen. That is the actual fifth agreement. So let's see. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Oh my God, that's a big one. That is a big, big, big one. Oh, the devil didn't want me to remember that. Okay. Just remember, don't make any assumptions. And we all have heard that old adage, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Because if you spell assume, it's ass, you, and me, right? Okay. So don't make any assumptions. Don't assume that people know how you feel. Don't assume that people think the way you think. That was a big one for me, because I thought everybody that I had around me thought like I did, felt like I did, because we just because we trauma bonded was really what it was. But I thought they got me, and I thought the fact that they got me was they thought how they knew how I thought and all that stuff. Those were assumptions that got me in a lot of spiritual trouble, because I was around people that were trying to steal from me. Not steal my items or anything like that. Some of them were, but they were trying to steal my abundance. They were trying to steal my gifts that God gave me. Okay. So that's another one. Don't assume anything. Use your words to communicate effectively, but be impeccable with your word. So don't shoot nobody down. Don't assume nothing. Okay. Question everything. And that's what the fifth agreement tells you. It tells you to be skeptical. Skeptical means you disbelieve, but you learn to listen. Skeptical means you don't take it at face value, but you learn to listen. So when someone is telling you their story, be skeptical. When someone is telling you that you made them feel a certain kind of way, be skeptical, but learn to listen. I had to learn the listen part. I was always skeptical, but I had to learn to listen part, because the moment I heard you say something that was untrue, I generally would cut you off and correct you, which is not the way to be, because people are living in their own virtual world. And sometimes you are the villain, even though you're not. Understand what I'm saying. Even though you are not the villain, to them in their virtual reality, you are the villain. Okay. But if you learn to listen, you're already skeptical because you know you're not the villain, right? But if you learn to listen, you will gather information about where they are at in their journey. Okay. And then what was the fourth one? Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal. Don't make assumptions. One, two, three. There's a fourth one. There's a fourth one. Hold on. I'm going to find it. Impeccable with your word. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, I don't even have to find it. And always do your best. Okay. Always do your best. Meaning, on this journey, we are trying to unlearn bad habits. We are trying to unlearn untruths. And by unlearning these untruths, you are either actually gathering your power back. Okay. And untruths can be anything from believing that Santa Claus was real to believing that your family and friends had your best interests at heart. They run the gamut, and everything else in between, everything that you learned in school, everything that you learned from your parents, everything that you learn from friends, families, experiences, things like that. Because understand, and understand, when you're having black magic done on you, your mind is confused. Okay. That's the only thing that we have power over, and our bodies, of course. But you have power over your mind. And if your mind was manipulated in any way, it doesn't necessarily have to be black magic. It could be someone doing, I'm reading an article now, and I'll make a video about that. So I'm not going to speak about that yet until I actually finish the article. But let's just speak about what I've been speaking about, which is black magic. Okay. If you and understand that the only way that I knew that I was under black magic, and when they gave it a name, besides the fact when I started watching tarot and they gave it a name, but I knew who I was from the very beginning. And I always moved with class. Okay. And I always was impeccable with my word and what I knew to be true. But the moment I allowed one person to convince me to do something that I did not want to do, i.e., one of my friends was like, "Oh, you need to give that guy a chance." And in my head and in my heart, I knew that I didn't want to be with a dude that had children. But I was like, okay, I allowed her to convince me, maybe you're too hard on men. And that was a voice that my mom used to tell me, "Oh, you're too hard on men. Why are you so hard on men?" But now that I understand, overstand, and understand spiritually what that was actually doing, I don't allow that anymore. Okay. And that's a whole nother thing when it comes to what our parents teach us. But you have to understand spiritually where they're coming from. Okay. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But do your best as you begin to unravel and peel back the onion layers of everything that was untrue in your life. It's going to hurt. It is going to suck. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to feel good because you're going to realize that certain people have lied. Now, understand, overstand, understand. Remember, I just said don't take anything personal because sometimes your parents, your friends, and whomever else, lovers, teachers, they don't know any better. You are awakening to the spiritual side of who you are and what's going on in the world, right? So everybody else is not awakened. So even though you may perceive it, understand you have your own world as well. And in your in your world, you you see things clearly. And you're like, oh, they lied to me. Oh, they did this. And but they may not have done it intentionally. Okay, spiritually, they probably did because as above, so below. But down here in the 3D, your parents may still be unconscious. Okay, I know mine are. They're very unconscious. Um, so I don't expect them to see and feel what I am going through, and to for me to be like, you lied to me, you tried to set me up, and you are a narcissist and all. My mom doesn't even understand the word narcissist. She doesn't. Okay. But if I explained it to her, it would make her feel bad. But she grew up that way. She grew up hurt and wounded from whatever childhood trauma that she had going on. So I love her unconditionally, but I do know when to put boundaries up and when to check a person, not just my mom, but anybody who crosses my boundaries. Okay. So, that being said, my message has always been about love. Okay. Love. Love. And now that I've done a lot of healing, I'm getting back to that message because for a long time, my message was about pain. It was about discomfort. It was the whole why me victimization. But I am no longer a victim and I no longer play that role. And I don't allow it to play out in my head, even though the black magic and confusion wants to keep me bound in that. Because if you're bound in thinking that you're a victim, then you're literally giving your power away. You're giving your power away to whomever it is that is trying to make you feel victimized. Okay. Whenever you hear those thoughts in your head, like, oh, they did this to you. Oh, they did that to you. Oh, you don't have that. Oh, you don't have that. That is being a victim. I am not a victim. I am empowered. I have taken my power back from those who tried to diminish me, for those who tried to make me see myself in a different light. But I know who I am and I always have. And now that the fog has cleared, my message is still clear. It is love. It is love. But before I could experience love from another person, which to me is a gift from the divine, from the most high, I had to learn how to love myself unconditionally. But in order to do that, you need to know the truth about you. You need to know the truth about your life. You need to know the truth about your upbringing. You need to know the truth about your past. You need to know the truth about your past lives. Okay. If you haven't started, you need to take a look at your chart. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say, because your chart is it's a roadmap. And for a long time, I used to kick myself and be mad at myself because I didn't know these things. I didn't know them. But you don't know what you don't know until you know you don't know it. Let me say that again. And I've said this before. You don't know what you don't know until you know that you know it. That means you find a piece of information and you realize the effect that it has on your life, but you didn't know you needed it because you didn't even know it existed. Okay. But I always thought that I knew everything that pertained to me, not everything in the world, but everything that pertained to me, but I did not. And astrology has opened my eyes to a whole nother world, to a whole nother world. But my message on this channel is love. And if you go back to any of my other videos, you'll hear pain because I was working through it. You'll hear um, grief because I was grieving. I was grieving. When you realize what has happened to you after you have awakened, you will have to grieve who you were. You will have to allow some space for that person that you used to be. I know I am no longer that person. And I also understand that whatever comes my way, whatever the devil throw at me, whatever the negative people throw at me, I can handle it because I am aware of who I am and who I was in my past and previous lives. And I'm still getting to know me. You know, on this journey, we incarnate down here to learn lessons. That is one of the things. We came down here to make the world a better place, but we also came down here to learn lessons to help make it a better place. And without what I experienced from my family and from my friends and from the jobs and from being chronic homeless and from all things, I would not be the person I am today. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Absorb what I'm saying. Because love is the answer, but it has to start with self love first. And love has always been my message. I remember when I was driving Lyft and there was a guy in a car with his son, and he had such a dismal outlook on life and the world, and I was so hyped, y'all just don't even understand. I was speaking so fast and I was so hyped because I seen it. I see it happening, not with just my generation, because he was part of my generation, but with his son, because we were sitting there chatting, and I'm gonna make this brief. We were sitting there chatting about the plight of the world and about racism and things like that. And I was like, "You don't see the change?" And he was like, "No, he doesn't think that it would change. He doesn't think that it would change in his son's lifetime or in his grandchild's lifetime." And I said, "I do." I said, "Because you're already the first link in the chain. We were the first in the forefront. My generation, those that accepted the path, those that accepted the call, stood up on the front lines and spoke their truth." And so I wanted to pour into this man because he didn't see what I clearly saw, y'all. And I'm talking about, I paused and stopped and was dropping them off. And we were still sitting there talking because I needed him to see what I saw. What I saw in the back seat was a man who knew who he was after trials and tribulations. And his teenage son, who doesn't have any sons, who doesn't have any children, he also confided in me. And I think I recorded this. I'm gonna start posting some of those things because I recorded my conversations in the car with Lyft people, and I will keep their identity, a secret. Some of them knew that I was recording, but a lot of them didn't because I was recording my own conversations to myself. And if I picked them up and I didn't stop the recording, then it picked up their conversation. But there were some when I said, "Well, can I record us?" And some of us, we just dance to music or whatever. But anyway, back to the story. I'm getting all off. Um, and so I turned to the back and I said, he was talking about how he was a teenage father and how he didn't know any better and blah, 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 blah. Um, and I said, "You don't see what you've already done? You don't see what you've already done?" And he was like, "Nah," because he still was stuck. He was awakened, but not to a point where he could actually see what the future was about to bring us. And I said, "You stop the cycle. Whatever the generational curse was that you outlived, you stopped it. You stopped it. They didn't, no one else stopped it. You did because you vowed when you had your son at a teenager that he was not going to repeat your steps. He was not going to repeat the mistakes that you made. And so his son was sitting in the backseat, listening to our conversation and everything. And he was 18 years old, I believe. No children, no children, very respectable young man. And I said, "I see the change coming forth in your son's children. I don't know when he's going to have children. He may not have children until he's 20, but I do know that once he does have children, he will have already gleaned what he needed from his father's life and how he was raised, and also seen his father's transformation." Do y'all hear what I'm saying? So, love is the key, and transformation is the result. Literally. But first, you must learn how to love yourself. And I'm spitting. My bad if y'all see that. I need to drink some water. But I'm like, I woke up so excited today. I woke up so excited today that I listened to Jody Watley from my childhood, and I love it. I finished this book this morning and I love it. So I am not mad at anyone or anything, literally, even the circumstances that I'm in. I really do want to move because I value my space. I always have. So it's no longer about, "Oh, I got to get out this house because," no, it's because I value my space. And I let that overshadow what I was going through, even though I know I was here to learn lessons. learn lessons about myself and about how others, but mainly about myself. We are here and we incarnated on this earth to learn lessons to make us better, to help our spirits evolve. We are spirits having a human experience. Listen, deja vu is not a fluke. It's not. It's a glimpse of your past life. Okay. So understand, overstand, and understand that you are on this journey and you have a purpose. There is a message that you have to deliver. My message is one of resilience, one of truth, one of authenticity, one of love. Of love. There's not no one in my life that can say that I did not love them unconditionally, that I did not love them authentically, that I did not give them 120% of who I was in love. Meaning, if they made a mistake, I accepted that mistake and I tried to work with them to get past it. If I saw someone going down the wrong way, I wanted to encourage them to go a different way. 9 times out of 10, when I speak on something, it's because I experienced it or I witnessed it firsthand. It's never going to be a third party conversation. Now, I can tell you what someone said, but I will also back it up with what I know to be true because of what I experienced. Okay. So if you don't take anything away from this video, and I'm glad you stayed to the end if you did, take away that love is the answer. I know it sounds cliche, y'all. I know it sounds cliche, but if you have any doubt of what I'm saying in this video, this may be the first video that you decided to click on. And if so, I encourage you to go back and look at what I went through from the very first video. And I still have some videos to upload that are trapped in my phone until I get a new phone, until I get phone service, because it's not about the phone. It's actually about me not having no phone service, but that's okay because God still allowed me to get my message out and it hasn't stopped. So when I am able to upload those, I will put like hiatus. So you'll still see that I was still working through issues. I was still working through problems and I'm still am. I'm not absolved of that just because I have awakened and I know that my spiritual gods and God don't play about me. I still have to learn. I'm still here to wake up and experience life as it is given to me and as I give it out. And so today I am giving you nothing but love. I am giving you peace. I am giving you peace of mind. I am giving you love of yourself. Take the journey, take the steps. Don't quit on yourself because it's going to get hard and it's going to get dark. Do not quit on yourself. And let me tell you what I found to be true is that when I was in my darkest moments, when I called on God, there were people that came to me out of nowhere. I had a friend of the family come back like after 13 years being gone. She had moved away and came back and she stayed. And y'all, when I tell y'all, that lady was a God sent. She was a God sent because there were things going on in the house like now that I still didn't know about. She came upstairs and was like, "What's going on?" And I was so excited to see her. I was like, "What do you mean, girl? I'm up here chilling." And she was like, "Well, downstairs is going crazy." And nothing has changed even now. So I say all that to say, love yourself enough not to quit on yourself in the third inning. I don't know how far you are on your journey, but you are close enough to see the light. If you can see a mustard seed of light in that dark space, baby, listen, you are closer than you think. You are more protected than you know, and you are more blessed beyond measure. Namaste, Ashe, Mazel Tov.